Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'd like to announce a new project that I will be participating with. The project is called the Great Big Little Stitchery Swap. It is being hosted by Annie Claxton and her channel is Arty Farty Annie. She's in the UK and she's come up with a lovely project that we can all join in. So the premise is go out there and find yourself some stitchery friends. You might be part of a group of stitchers that get together every Tuesday and have a little stitch and swap a stitchery each between you. So some are doing it with some YouTube people, some are just doing it within their craft group. I've gone out and found a mix of ladies that I'd like to participate with, and to make mine a little bit more challenging for everyone, sorry girls, I've set a colour scheme by myself and then invited them to do the same. So those ladies have now sent me their colour scheme. That will narrow my field of creativity. Otherwise I will stand in front of the fabric bin for hours trying to think of a colour range for a particular person. So I've asked everyone to send me their colour scheme. Some of the girls have sent me a photo of their mood board that they're planning to use in the treasure hunt that's being hosted by the Roxy sisters, Rachel and Sarah. So that puts so much more pressure on that they are looking for a treasure potentially from me to add to their stitchery. So much fun. So what else did I want to tell you? Oh, there's a hashtag. I thought I might write it on here. This is a little template that I have created to help me work out my parameters. And this is a little guideline of the stitchery expectations, I guess, for doing the actual project. Now, the hashtag is Stitchery Swap. Annie explains this all in her video, but in a week or so time, if you go into the YouTube search and type in that will bring up everyone in the YouTube world that is doing this project, because if I put that in my description and then you go and type it, you'll find me and everyone else that's doing this project. So that's sort of how a hashtag works, pulls us all together. Now the finished square is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, but we need to add an extra centimeter as a seam allowance. 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So what I've done is I've just created this to draw around so I know where I need to make sure I'm positioning my work. So what I mean by, I'm going to grab some calico now. One of my ladies, I think her colours is going to be in there, but I just need to double check. But first things first, let's get some of these panels organised. So if I tear this piece of fabric at 12 centimeters, I want a nice rough edge. So if I put that on there and then check that I've got a centimetre, which I have, and then another centimetre, I might just add a little extra because I'd hate for this fabric to have a bit of a twist in it and it sends it off on another direction. So let's just do a little snip and a rip. I think I've got 6, is that right? There might be a few more. I've sent a few messages out and some of the girls haven't checked their inboxes yet. So a couple of my chums are busy working, so I haven't yet noticed that I'm annoying them again. So let's just do that extra bit. Now that extra centimetre we can use to maybe stitch down the piece or attach it to something, as in connecting it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I've got a few ideas of how to present my panels. I'll show you my colour scheme too. It's something I don't usually, I haven't really played with. I kept looking through Pinterest for some inspiration of colours, and it was so much, and I thought I'm going for the same thing all the time. So I decided I'm going to pick something that I've never done, just so it looks a bit different. And I found a bit of a colour scheme I thought was quite interesting. So there's my first one. So I've got my seam allowance, and also my perimeter of which to stitch in. See how it's a bit wonky, this fabric? Just be mindful of your fabric, that you've got enough of a seam allowance, because the last thing you want to do is shortchange the person receiving your square. I think it's just a case of my square wasn't traced properly. So let's have another go at that. Because depending on what you do with your patch when you receive it, that seam allowance might be tucked under and it be appliqued onto a bigger piece. You might use the seam allowance to form a hinge in a little booklet. You might want to concertina them together. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I think I'm going to wait until they come and then come up with a project. I don't know, in the back of my head, I picture them all being placed onto a bigger panel and then maybe some additional embellishing to go around them to try and blend it all together. I think that would be quite a challenge. So what else is in Annie's little rules of engagement here? Imperfections are fine, raw edges, don't worry about any wadding or anything like that, just a piece of homespun or calico, and they need to be in the mail by the 31st of August, so I've got plenty of time. Okay, now inspiration. This was one of the photos I found, and I thought, what a beautiful colour wheel. So it drifts between that cottagey pink into the blues, the greens, the lavenders and the browns. It's such a beautiful stitchery. I didn't take note of who actually did it on Pinterest. It was sort of in a colour wheel section. Then I found that little guy and I thought, aren't you just gorgeous? He's a stitched little bird, and I thought I love the colours, that stormy grey into the blues and the creams, and then I found that piece which has some more of the blues and the pinks together. So that's the colours I've sent to my ladies, and then like I said, they've sent back some colours to me. So let's start. Now the first lady I'm going to do, she said sunny yellow, green and white in the colours. Now she sent me a picture of her mood board. So I just want to bring that up. There we go. So we've got, look at that Dutch blue there. So that helps get my head narrowed down. Look at the yo-yos, the Suffolk puffs, doilies. Okay, this is right up my alley. See the daisies here? That's an idea. And then there's a darker, moodier blue in the background. There's a mustardy yellow and bright yellows. So, yeah, I think we can get something out of this. And there's daisies sitting in the centre there as well. So, a bit of a daisy theme happening. Okay. All right, we've got our inspiration. So, having said that, good times. I haven't had a play with this little pack of fabric. I thought I might have a little thumb through it because maybe there's something in here that could go with it. She's probably looking at the screen going, yes, yes, or no, no. Oh gosh, the pressure. The pressure. There's some nice blues at the back there. It's quite a challenge when you've got a little colour scheme to work in. It's going to be bad enough that we've got this space. Like, seriously, that's not very big. There's a couple there that aren't too bad. I also grabbed a couple scraps of some antique fabrics because I'd really like to incorporate some of those in there. Oh gosh, my hands are cold this morning. And then this piece of fabric was lying on my desk. And I thought, well, that's got potential. I also got my big box of scraps beside me, and the other thing I picked up was doing a project with Susanna Vintage Sewing Techniques, and I sort of felt like this was in the colour scheme as well, because there's some blues in here, and there was a little embroidery too I thought was kicking around in here. See, there's that as well, and that, oh goodness me. Oh, hello. Gee, that's handy. Oh, I like that little edge. Bits. This. That is from a Stitchery that I used in this project. There was a little morsel of it left. And as soon as I saw her mood board, oh, look, we got some camphor quilt. Oh, goodness, stop, girl. Stop looking. Enough. Like, the square is so small. How are we possibly going to get all this? I think that's out. I think we've got enough here. All right. Now, I might just grab that journal that is connected to the project, because that in itself might give me a little inspiration. See, that's where I used that little piece. These colours are sort of close to it. Oh, hexagon. Maybe I do a hexagon. Can we get a hexagon in? Oh, goodness me. Gosh, imagine if I didn't have, I think we need a hexagon. Imagine if we didn't have a colour scheme. My head's just spinning here. The hexagon with some antique book page in it, that would be cool. Hold that thought, guys. I've just gone off on a tangent. Okay. Here's my little bag of paper that I could grab at a quick, just here. Okay, what have we got here? We need some antique page. These little pieces of paper came from Rachel in Italy. And I could use, oh look, there's a Florentine paper. Oh yeah, got to have that. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do. My hands are cold. I think I'm going to do a hexagon somewhere on it. Yeah, so that's a 3/4 inch hexagon. So that means I'd need to cut out a piece of fabric. So this is Florentine paper. I think I said that, didn't I? So this is what we're going to use as our little template, little feature piece. All right, so now I need a piece of fabric to go around it as if I was making a, what do they call them? English paper piecing is the technique where they join them all together to make a quilt. So there's the template you would use to make your quilt, but we're going to use it as a bit of a feature. So I need the hexagon that suits that. Yep, that's the one. I need to pick a fabric that suits that. Just sort of, what's that come from? Come out of the box, did it? I don't really have anything on my table. What, I'm just looking around. Might have to come back to that. Just can't see anything that's jumping out at me, but that's that's going to be my little feature. That little flower is going into it. Oh gosh, this is just not going to fit. Let's get some antique fabrics in position, because you just got to have some of them. Let's get some scissors. So let's get our background down first. First things first, girl. Let's get our background pinned into position. Got to have a little splash of antique. Then we need some flowers or some flowery fabric. This little morsel here might be good. Maybe I'll put that right through. And then I know my back is at least, oh, it's a perfect size too. Couldn't have picked that any better. Now we need a pop of blue, which is cut a piece. Hexagon, where are you going to sit? There, does that look good? So probably a blue edge for him might work, but we'll see. I don't know. Oh, these are fun. Maybe I need a smaller piece. Where's this going to go? Put it up the right way, it'd be a good start. Gone quiet. I'm concentrating. Oh, I like that. I'm not even in camera. Maybe a bit of camphor quilt. We could put a little morsel of that. It's like I want to squish everything I can possibly squish onto the piece. Well, that hexagon's definitely going there. The only thing I need to go hunting out is something to go around it that works really well with it. So I'm just going to put him to one side. I also need to, I like that cluster there. I like how that's breaking. I'm just going to pin that because that to me seems like it works together. Got some doily in. I might just lift this piece. I've got that little gap there, so I'm going to lift it. So then I know it's tucked in. That then will go there, and that gives me an opportunity to put a base on it. I might have to go hunting for a little morsel to go here. Maybe I go very dark blue. I definitely want this camphor quilt in. Just as a little bit extra of texture. Yeah, I like that. I think I need something dark along the bottom. I did grab out the fabrics I used in my Christmas. No, I feel like I need something dark down there. Or these are the fabrics I used in my Christmas bunting. Oh, I don't mind you. Actually, I think she mentioned Christmas in her description, but that was the reds and, you know, traditional. Wasn't really. Nothing jumping out at me. Nothing jumping out at me. So I feel like I need to include one of these flowers too. How would I do that? Let's just cut that out. Let's fussy cut this little guy. We could do some embroidery on the little flower then, hey? Because it wouldn't be right without having some painting flowers with thread activities. And it's only little, so it's not like I'm, you know, biting off a lot of work here. Okay, so there's my little flower. Move him over a little bit. Maybe the hexagon's got to go in that bottom corner. And that goes there. This is a challenge because of the size of everything. I think I like that. I like the whoosh of activity happening up this one side of it. And my hexagon will go there. Maybe I just do the border of the hexagon. Let me come up a little bit in the camera. I'd hate to think you're missing all the action here. Got a hang of a mess. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the border just in a plain tone. If it doesn't look right, I will maybe dig out a yellow, but I don't know. Let's just try it with this. Those little hexagon templates, if anyone's interested, the brand is, can I read it? So Easy. And it came in a little pack, and you get the little template for the paper, and then the perimeter can be cut out of your fabric, depending on what sort of size you choose, of course. So if that edge comes in all the way around, yeah, I like it sitting out here, but do I like it? And I'm going to be using the paper that we'd normally hide. Oh, I do like that, because then I could do a blue or yellow stitch around it, which would make it a bit of a highlight. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, unless I find a yellow. Hang on. Oh, goodness me. We're off on a tangent. Here's wheat coloured. Oh, I like that too. Let's see if I can get a little hexagon out of this. So what the plan is with my videos is we will piece together each little panel. Then I'll go away and stitch it. Then I'll come back and show you the finished piece, unless there's something I'm doing that I want to show you. And then we start the next one as we work through my little list. So we'll see how we go. I'm not sure if they'll appear every week. We've got plenty of time. I'll probably just pop them in here and there into my schedule, because there's a lot going on at the moment and I really need this project like a sore thumb. with a needle prick. But I can't help myself. And there's a few girls out there that I just want to say thank you to. They've just been such a support in many, many ways. Not just YouTube, but just good friends. So I plan to just have a little play with this project with them, I think. As soon as I saw it come up, I'm like, oh, I so need to do that. So this will have a fawny coloured. Yeah, I think I like that better. Yeah. So we've got choice anyway. I think I'll know more once I get the stitching into position. I think it'll be better. So that little cluster can come off for now, and that guy. So my next step, and I'm making sure I'm within the perimeter. I still don't have a piece for here, do I? I think it needs to be some crocheting. Where's my scrap bucket? I don't think there's any colours there that I like, so I'm going to put them back in my... Oh, hello. Let's use this. So it looks like there's a little edge there. Oh, do I shorten up that? I think I do. I'm going to shorten up this piece so that I can have this corner down here. Oh yeah. So then the fabric just sits within the perimeter of it. That works over here. I hope that doesn't come undone. I might snip that once I get some stitches in there because I think it'll unravel otherwise. Blanket stitch is a continuous stitch. So I think I'll just hold the horses a little bit. So where's my project tray? So my hexagon, 2 choices, could end up being 3. A little cluster, and then my little feature flower. So that's all good. Oh, a yo-yo. Can we squeeze a yo-yo in? We'll put the... Oh, gosh. Let's just go back and have a little look. Little flower there. Hexagon somewhere over here. Probably don't need the yo-yo, but you know how it is. A girl's got to have a Suffolk puff. There's a few there. I don't know if the dark one's what we need, but... Oh. Wouldn't that just be luxurious? I think we need a yo-yo. Okay. Pin. You're in. Don't think I need any more of those fabrics. Little hexagons put to one side. I love the hexagons. I think all of them are going to get a little hexagon, and we'll use some something from Rachel's pack. So that'll be a bit of fun. I'm just going to pin that blanket stitch piece there. So that's why you should just keep all your little bits, because you never know when you're going to use them. Okay, I think we have a plan. Some pins. I love that I've got this little bit of camphor quilting. Let's lift him up. Oh, he's damaged there from use, so we'll show that off. We don't want to cover that. Lovely little morsel. We're within our perimeter. Excellent. So what do I need now? I need to clean up my mess here a bit. Where's my box to do with this project? Let's put those bits back because otherwise they'll go missing, and then I'll come to do the next panel in Susanna's project and I will be missing. Oh, I found this on my desk. Can we get a little bit of tape measure in there? Oh, gosh, let's just put it in there. I think we might. All right, needle and thread. Where are you? Here. So, you know the rules to the game. Invisible stitched. Get rid of your pins. Stitch it down. Then that gives you a moment just to think. And that is a piece of thread from the calico. It's not even thread. Where's my ball of cotton? There it is. Oh, this is going to be fun. Can you hear it in my voice? Okay. Now, am I within the perimeter or am I over? I'm over. That's the trick. You've got to check, because especially if they want to use the piece in something else, that might be crucial to making the next part of the project actually work. Oh, I love that. I just love the colours. All right, now I'm just going to whip around the place with my needle to hold down all these little elements. How cute. This would make a lovely wall hanging where you pick some colours that you like and then just do these little stitcheries and then line them all up. Just as interesting little pockets of yumminess. There's quite a few out there that have done projects where they're all, you know, 3-inch squares and, oh, beautiful. I know when I was on Pinterest, I spotted quite a few collections of these style of little stitcheries. I know there's a few online courses out there where you make little 2-inch squares. So if you do this project and you find that you love the size that you're working in, make some for yourself, because you're going to have all your bits out. Just that colour scheme there, I just love that. Just beautiful. Neutrals and that soft duck egg blue. And then the pop of the navy, very pretty, if I do say so myself. Okay, so just, I can eliminate that pin. Just going to come across this little piece of camphor quilt. I might try and leave the sides of it exposed, so if she wants to have a little peek at what they are, she can, because there's probably 9 different fabrics in there. Easily. I did pull one apart to see what was inside. Okay, so just stitch that down there. Beautiful. That's not going anywhere. And that's probably enough stitching just to get that secure anyway, and I won't need to come back to it because I don't think I'm going to edge it. I'm just going to let it float there. and let the stitching from the camphor quilt be the feature. All I need to do is pop these little invisible stitches in there just to hold it. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. And I love how it's worn and you can just see peeking through the fabric from below. Just gorgeous. Okay. All right. I need some more thread, so I thought I'll finish that off. Now, I might just pop a few stitches along the bottom. I want to secure that blanket stitch so that I can just snip it and it's not going to unravel. So I might head down there first. Let's get you stitched down. Yep. That won't be going anywhere. Just catch that one more time and I'll be happy. So it's going to be interesting to see what everyone does with their little pieces. Okay, just a couple little stitches up that side. That should hold that floral piece in. And up there. So I'm just sort of jumping around. And like I said, it gives me a chance to have a look at what I'm going to do in addition, where I stitch next. That's a beautiful piece of fabric, that's yummy. Okay, so that feels secure to me. Now I do need to pop a few more stitches down here. I might also go and rip all of these squares too. And then they're all done, so I don't waste time on that next time we get together on this project. Okay. Yep, that'll really keep that nice and secure. Let's pull that thread forward a little bit. So most of those clusters will just get stitched straight down. Next, the only thing I'll leave to the end is probably that hexagon, because until I get a lot of the detail in, I don't think I'll add that till the very end because I'm a little unsure of the border to go around that paper. So I think I will leave that as the last little bit to add. Now there'll be beads go into this piece. As for what colour, once again, that's one of those last little trimmings I tend to put on once I see the whole piece, then beads are selected. And some buttons maybe. Oh, you've got to have buttons. Oh boy, the space we've got to work in, this 10 metre, oh if only, 10 centimetre space is not a lot of space, but you'd be surprised what you can get in there. So there we go. I'm happy with that. Everything feels nice and secure. Can get rid of that pin. Hope I'm not too far over the edge there. I guess it could be trimmed back if I'm a little bit past the 10 centimetre. That can be trimmed a little bit. One more stitch up here and I'll be happy. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to put the cluster in. Once I have that cluster in position, I can then see what decorative stitches. Oh, I could chop this off too. Yep, here we go. Chop. I might just put a dab of glue there, like a fray check scenario, just to make sure that that fabric doesn't, you know, fray too much and lose that edge. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I've got a tiny little bit. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to have to hang on to that bit. Might find a spot for it. There we go. Everything is now invisible stitched down. So our background is done. Bring that up to the camera. That's worked out really well. Happy with that. Now, let's find the home. Oh, the cold. Let's find the final home for these little pieces. Now, my instinct is to put that there, like that. Got to have room for hexagon. I think he will fit tucked in there. That'll carry the design long ways. So that should work. And then this little guy up in here. Just getting his position right. Oh yeah, that's it. I like how that petal is up to pointing to the top corner of the square. So I've sort of got this swoosh of activity here. So once again, some little invisible stitches to hold our elements down. And then I can come back and start working on embellishing. I might just trim that little edge there. It's just layering, isn't it? It's just keep layering, keep adding. When you think you're done, you're not. Keep going. I wonder if I could get that little edge tucked in somewhere. The hexagon will take up most of that space. I've stitched all that down. I don't think I'll need it. No. Just stop, girl. It sort of makes sense where it is. It looks like there's a crocheted or an embroidered edge. So it sort of feels like it should be there. Get that crocheted piece actually out. I'll just stay away from that edge a little bit because I think the hexagon will need to tuck in there somewhere. Yep, that looks good. Love it when we can use these little vintage embroideries from doilies, little bits. Gosh, look at the time. I think you got the general gist of where it's going. And I think it'll come together with plenty of blue, a little pop of yellow. Got some vintage bits and bobs in there, some Florentine paper from Rachel. So I'm just putting little itty bitty stitches in this embroidery, but I will go around the perimeter of it and actually stitch them down so that it doesn't fray out. But that will hold it all. And then I can start embellishing and adding stitches and things like that. Let's get up here a little bit and get this flower. Gosh, whoever stitched that little embroidery, their stem stitch there is really good. They did a very good job of it. So I'll have to dig out some dark blue cotton to stitch this little piece down. I could use cream cotton as a contrast to have a little stitched edge on it. And I'll have to dig out some threads so that I can do a little bit of embroidery on that medallion. I think everything is secure. So let's just remove our pins and hopefully everything is secure. So let's have a look at yo-yos. How are we going for time? We've got time. Do we use... I really like to get a bit of this in too. It's this Suffolk puff and yo-yo need a home first. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the cream or the mustard. I think we need the mustard, to be honest. I feel like I need just a little bit more colour. Yeah. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this glue that the quilters all use when they're just to hold the fabric down nice and flat. I shouldn't be putting glue on my mat, should I? Gosh, we're breaking the rules today. Oh, this English paper piecing. I don't know how they do a whole quilt of it. I love them. And every time I see a quilt, I just have to stop for a moment and appreciate the work that's gone into it. But just getting one hexagon, let alone a couple joined, here we go. Round you go, round you go. We nearly got you cornered. Hey, Fudgy. Fudgy's just appeared on the scene. Now, the plan is I will pop a few stitches in there and then that will tuck under there. Like so. Just as a little feature. And I'll probably use a dark blue thread We are losing this green, this piece here, but maybe that's where I bring this guy back in as a bit of a, yeah, I might do that. I don't want to lose that dark blue, and it is getting lost. So we might do something with that there. Yeah. Gosh, we just don't have enough room. Oh my goodness me. I think that would be too washed out. So I think it's definitely going to be this guy. I'll tuck him in there and have that lace sitting up over him. Yeah, happy with that. So those guys are definitely in. I'm going to put, oh, I know what I wanted to do. Where can we get some tape measure in? Okay, let's have another look. Maybe that's got to come down there. Maybe that then tucks in there like that. I sort of feel like that's, yeah, I like that. Just shooting across there as just a little hint. See if I can get that 5 in there. If I can get that under there. Yep. Yep. There we go. You're going there. You're going there. And you're going down there. Tucked in, nestled in there like that. There we go. And then we embellish from there. Let me hold that up to the camera. Might just put a pin in there before we go and lose all that genius. Oh, love it. There we go. So that's the base. That's the start of it. So what I'm thinking from this point is I will overcast stitch around the little embroidery. I will do a feature top stitch around the hexagon to get him secured. I'll then sneak in around the background and do some additional stitching just to, frame things out, probably just in the cream. I'll find a dark blue and stitch down the perimeter of this little flower. And then I'll come back and start embellishing. So I'll do some embroidery in the little flowers here. I'll do something with that yo-yo and then drift who knows what else in amongst it. So I've created like a cluster on this bottom corner and a little bit of space up the top there just to breathe and appreciate some of those vintage fabrics that are across the top. My Christmas projects there. Rachel's Florentine papers there. We've got some vintage embroidery included. Yeah, love it. There we go. We've got a very good start. So do find your friends, especially if you girls are in a group that meet regularly for, stitching and getting together. Please organise a bit of a swap, and why don't you select a colour scheme and give yourselves a bit of, parameters to move within. I think that's a sweet idea, because then when the pieces come back to you, you've got 9 or 12 or 6 pieces or 3 pieces that all coordinate, and you can then use them in another project, and you're ready to go because you've got some, gorgeous elements that can, join your project. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on. I think that's it from me. I'm not sure when the next video will pop up for this project. It'll just randomly be sprinkled in amongst my weeks. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. So if this is a project you really like, by hitting that subscribe button allows you to easily search through all of my videos, especially if you're wanting to watch a series without that subscription button clicked. And it's not a subscription that costs you anything. It's just YouTube knows that you are interested in me and allows you more access into finding videos that you want to watch. Otherwise, it's a bit hit and miss. It seems to send you all over my videos. But I was talking to someone and their son works within YouTube or in the back end of YouTube somewhere. Anyway, they were saying that by subscribing, it allows you more access to videos and you can peruse them easily. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting reason why we should click the subscribe button. So, and the other thing they said, which I thought was very interesting, it's all about the views. It's not actually about how many subscribers you have. It's how many people view your channel. That's what YouTube uses to know whether they should recommend it to someone else that might have a similar viewing, you know, similar likes, so to speak. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting too. All right, anyway, stop gibble-gabbing. Thanks, guys. I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.